Hello, welcome to project number 6, the last project in our Intro to C programming. The goal for this time around is to convert all of the uppercase letters in a given string to lowercase. This is going to require a little bit of extra knowledge that we didn't really go over in the lecture. Specifically, there is something special about the ANSI character set that you kind of need to know in order to do this. So, I've broken it down into 3 steps here, and am just now realizing I forgot to do the third one, but that's fine because it's very simple. So, step 1, get the string from the user. We're going to be using fgetS for kind of its full purpose here. Step number 2, for each character in the string, if it's capital, then we'll convert it to lowercase. Step number 3, print the result string. Easy. So, this time around, we shouldn't need any helper functions. So we'll just do everything in main then. So, this time, we should be pretty familiar with getting and processing input from the user. So let's just go ahead and do that. Character buffer, do 64 bytes like normal. Format this like that. fgetS, buffer, 64, standard in. This time we're not going to need any conversions though, because we're just dealing with strings and ASCII characters. So, how do we do that? The ASCII character set, which is the default one for C, although strictly speaking, I think modern C compilers can deal with different character encodings. ASCII is just the most common one that they're used to. Anyway, in the ASCII character set, the capital letters of the alphabet, A through Z, are all arranged right next to each other in alphabetical order. I think the value of A in the character set is 65, if I recall correctly. But regardless, the lowercase letters do not come immediately after capital Z, though. There are a few characters between the capital letters and the lowercase letters. And this is by design. In order to convert a capital letter into a lowercase letter, all you have to do is add the ASCII character for a space, which you do just like that, just surrounding an empty space in single quotes. Similarly, you can convert a lowercase letter to a capital letter by subtracting space. So, let's get to that then. We are going to need to iterate over every character in the string. So for equals 0, I less than 64 plus plus I. If the character is a capital letter, so how do we determine that? So remember that characters are just bytes, which means they're just numbers in memory, and they can be compared as such. So, if buffer sub I is greater than or equal to capital A, and buffer sub I is less than or equal to capital Z, then we know we have a capital letter. So this could be capital A, capital B, capital anything through capital Z. If that's the case, then we know all we have to do is buffer sub I plus equals space. This can look a little weird, but ultimately I find it easier than using the raw numbers in situations like this, specifically because you can have these mnemonics, like just remembering that the difference between capital A and small a is just a space. I find that easier than remembering that it's buffer sub I plus equals 32, which is the ASCII value for a space. If you find it easier to use the raw numbers, then go for it. Personally, I like using the character constants. So, what else do we do here? That ought to be it, actually. Because then all we have to do is printf result %s character buffer. Yeah, this ought to work. This one is a lot simpler than the last one. Should be a quick breather after the complicated mess that was the last one. So let's go ahead and run through this real quick, just to be safe. Printf, just dump a string to the screen. We have our 64-byte buffer. fgetS will get up to 63 bytes from standard in, making sure the last character is the null character if it needs to. And then for every byte in this buffer, so for every character in the buffer, if what is in that location is anything from capital A to capital Z, we add a space to it, thereby converting it to lowercase. Then we print the result to the screen. Let's compile this and see what happens. gcc star.c-o project6.exe. No output, excellent. String to convert. Let's test this a few different ways. I'm going to test all lowercase first. Actually, I'm going to type actual words that I won't be able to match those up visually. Let's see. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. Yeah, cool, looks right to me. Let's try this again. Lorem ipsum dolor sit emet. Converts all of them to lowercase. And now this string is in mixed case. Cool. That seems to work as expected. Yeah, this was a fairly easy, fairly quick little program to run through. If you're still not understanding what's going on here, I recommend looking at a chart of the ASCII character set, or just playing around with this source code at all. Dealing with string manipulation in character sets can be, it takes some getting used to, but once you develop an intuition for it, it'll be smooth as butter. Cool. This was fairly easy. Thank you for joining us.